again, there's a lot of shame attached to money. Okay. We've tied money to ego. We've tied money to self-worth. We've tied money to self-esteem. But money is a tool. It can do certain things, but your self-esteem, your self-worth should not be tied to how much you make. Debt financing should be focused on financing assets. Now, assets are things that generate income. If you're financing an asset, something that's not generating an income for you, then the question is, why are you using debt for it? If you're a woman and your peers ask for 3% and they're on 3%, if you're a woman, ask for 8%. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're a woman, the chances are that your company is going to lowball you and say, we can only give you 1 is very high if you go for 3. But if you say 8, you say, I can't give you 8, then they'll give you what everybody's getting, you can even get more. When you're good at what you do, you don't need to know anybody. They know your name. So at this age, I say once you are below 30, just focus on being the best. Build the skill. Don't worry about people knowing you. You just look, put your head on the table. Just work hard.
Hi and welcome back to another episode. I'm your host Abiola Adekoya, and today we have with us Abiola Adekoya. She is a finance expert with experience in wealth and portfolio management. She has an economics degree from the University of Lagos and an MBA from Lagos Business School, so you know she's coming with facts. She's the lead wealth advisor at Artios Capital and a partner at Genea Family Office. So I'm really glad to have you here today. Actually, her portfolio is so long. She's also a former MD at RMB Stockbroker. So I'm really excited to have her here today to talk about finance. Thank you, Abiola, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much, Iwa, for having me. I'm excited and looking forward to engaging with you today.
Awesome. So you guys should stay tuned. She's going to be answering some audience questions. But first, we like to play a little game on podcast. We call it Techies Assemble for now, but I think I'm going to change the name. But do you know how to shuffle cards?
I do know how to shuffle cards.
Thank God. I'm very happy. So please, can you shuffle the deck? And then what's going to happen is you pick out like 2 cards, one at a time. They all have scenarios. You read out the scenario and let us know more about it and answer.
Okay, so I should pick out 2 cards.
Yeah.
Okay, let me pick out this one.
Okay.
Oh no, I was shuffling the wrong way around.
Okay.
So it said a former employee is suing you for wrongful termination. What do you do? Very interesting. What would I do? So the first thing I'm going to, I would do is sit with my HR and ask, okay, what is the policy and the guidelines for termination, and ensure that we acted in line with the policy. Now, if we acted in line with the policy, then, I'll call my lawyer and say, okay, this is what's going on. Can you, let's sit with the employee's lawyer and find out what exactly is the crux of the matter. Now, when we find that out, then we then decide on how best to proceed. Now, that's on one hand. If we do discuss and my HR manager tells me that unfortunately we terminated this person wrongfully, I would then call the person in and then, probably my preferred option would be arbitration and say, listen, perhaps we could have done this in a better way. And so what would you like us to do for you by way of compensation? Because sometimes as a firm, you may not always get it right. But what happens is when you realize that you've not done something properly, then you take the right steps to do it well. Now, if you've done it well, it could be that the person was just being emotional. And so you could say, listen, let's go for a drink. Let's assume that I was right in terminating the person. Say, okay, let's go for a drink. Let's, sit down and discuss what's the problem. Okay. And find ways of perhaps softening the blow of losing their job. Okay. So, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It depends on the firm, it depends on the person involved, and it depends on the why, their reason for doing what they're doing. But ultimately, I think that these are things that happen in the natural course of business. And I don't think business owners should run away from it. Just tackle it head on and it will resolve itself. So that's the first one.
Like how, it doesn't sound like you just pulled that out of, but has this ever happened to you?
I don't
or that you know of?
Well, I think I've had to let someone go before.
Okay.
And so in letting someone go, you kind of have to balance the two. You have to look at how to let someone go in a way that makes them feel valid and doesn't dehumanize them.
Okay.
There is some sort of, when employers, some employers tend to, take those opportunities in a way to make the other person feel bad.
Okay.
Now, when people feel slighted and when they feel hurt, they find a way to destroy the company and the brand. And you don't want anyone to destroy your brand. You've worked so hard. You want to keep your brand value. So you must find a way, to let people go that in a way that is humane and also espouses the values of your company. And they must remain ambassadors regardless.
That's true.
But if they don't remain your ambassador, then that's the problem. You haven't done it properly. So you must balance that. It's a fine balance.
Yeah, so, I mean, you've gotten the best answer here, I think. So the next scenario.
Okay. Next scenario, an employee feels that they were unfairly passed over for promotion. How do you handle their grievance? Very interesting. Okay, so this has happened to me before.
Okay.
I felt like I was unduly passed over for promotion. Okay. And I'd been in the company for about 3 years and I'd done really well and I wasn't promoted. Of course, I was slightly disappointed and I didn't feel valued. So I, started in the beginning of the year. I wrote a letter to my boss.
Okay.
And I said, listen, this is the things I've achieved. This is what I achieved in year 1, year 2, year 3. This is how much money I've made for the company. And, I think I should be promoted. And my boss said, well, I'm not going to promote you. And, all of that. I'm like, why would you promote me? I mean, I felt really bad. Anyway, fast forward, I didn't get the promotion, even though I did that. And of course, subsequently, I got a job that paid me like twice what I was earning. And my boss was like, oh, let me pay you what you're going to earn for you to stay. I was like, I'm not staying.
You've lost your chance.
I'm going. So, I mean, if an employee feels passed over for promotion and, they feel strongly about it, what I would advise is let them sort of, I won't say they should justify it, but, let them feel, okay, you know what, you've been passed over. Why do you think, you qualify for this promotion? What have you done well? What have you not done well? And so if I'm that employee, rather than get angry with the organization, I will sort of write the things I've done well, the things I'm hoping to do well, and the value I bring to the company. And I will take that to my line manager and my HR manager. And then I will use that as a leverage to have a conversation. Now, if I am the company that, my staff feels that they've been passed over, and I have a genuine reason, it could be one, perhaps I didn't even know they'd done something. Okay. Right? Because sometimes people don't, you don't have a clear understanding of what your staff has achieved. So you may not know. And if that's the case, I would say, okay, you feel unfair about this matter. Let me see what you've done and then look at it. If it's that there's a reason why, for example, if the person is supposed to be passed on from junior level to mid-management level, it could mean that they may not have the skills. So I would say, listen, I noticed I would love to make you a middle management staff, but you don't have the skills. So I'm going to spend 1 year preparing you for the next role. Okay. And that 1 year could mean I'm going to, train you in certain areas, develop your leadership qualities, develop your technical capabilities. That way, when you become middle management, you have leadership traits as well as, you also have technical skills that you require in that role. So as a firm, when you pass people over for promotion, let them be aware. Because you will lose a valuable staff just because you're not communicating. So I would say always communicate and let the staff be aware of your reasons for what you've done. But ultimately, it's always a good time for conversation. It's always a good time for a company to then look inwards and say, if people are feeling this way and this one person has told me, that's feedback. That means that many people in the organization
might be feeling the same way.
Feel the same way. So that's a chance for you to address certain lapses in your system, or perhaps address certain lapses in the way you promote people. Maybe it's not done properly, right? And so I think those are some of the things that I would think of as a firm if this were to happen to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to add. Having been in a similar scenario, I think everything you said actually hits the mark. It's great to have that communication, understand, okay, why is the organization taking this position? And then for the individual as well, you're able to say, okay, you're not being promoted because XYZ. You need to improve XYZ, and they're literally giving you a plan for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. So we actually will go into the audience questions now. Okay. So people have problems.
I'm ready.
People have problems.
I can imagine.
So they've sent in 12 questions, but I don't think I can actually we can go through all of them. We'll probably take maybe 5 or 6.
I mean, let's take the most exciting ones, and the ones that you think that is on everybody's mind. Okay. I'm very happy.
Okay, I think this one is good.
Tell me.
So this person calls herself Anonymous Lady in Tech. Okay. She says, what factors should I consider before accepting debt financing offers from businesses or companies? And what terms should I negotiate for? All the early companies I invested in circa 2021 and 2022 are all folded up. Wow. For context, I work in tech and I'm usually offered stock options as compensation. But based on my past experience, I'd rather just get the money instead.
So she's concerned about 2 things. Debt financing. Yeah. I assume that she runs her own business.
So she's probably like an early staff in a startup, and then they
Okay.
give you equity.
Okay.
So she's like, can I just get the cash instead? Because your equity, based on her
Yes.
experience, doesn't work out.
So one of the things I always tell people when you're looking at negotiating salary, and it's something that a lot of people don't sort of think about and do properly. We always negotiate salary from the position that we're currently in. So we look at it from, okay, I'm thinking of where I am now, how much more I would like to earn. That is a very erroneous way of negotiating your salary. When you're negotiating your salary, you always think, okay, where do I want to be in 5 years' time? What does that look like from a financial point of view? Now, with that in mind, that's how you then walk backwards and ask yourself, how much do I need to make now to get to that level? So the first thing I will tell her is she's very correct in saying that she doesn't want to earn a salary based on stock options because, of course, past experience has shown that some of these companies don't survive. So I would say negotiate your salary based on actual numbers,
Okay.
right? Now the bonus part can be part stock options
Okay.
and part cash. That way, if you're negotiating your bonus, you can say, listen, I want 70% of my bonus in cash, 30% in stock options, which will vest in 3 years' time. So that in 3 years' time, if I'm still in your company in 3 years' time, I get the benefit of those stocks.
Okay.
If I'm not in your company in 3 years' time, then of course I've taken some of my bonus
Yes.
upfront in cash, and so that's fine. That's a good way to negotiate. She mentioned something about debt finance. I don't know what that means,
Yeah.
but let me just touch a bit on that. When you're thinking of debt financing, what you want to always focus on is what are you using the debts to finance? Debt financing should be focused on financing assets. Now, assets are things that generate income. If you're financing an asset, something that's not generating an income for you, then the question is, why are you using debt for it? Except, of course, it's a major need. For example, it could be a health reason.
Okay.
Or maybe you want to do something, that's important to you. But whatever it is, always understand your why. And then the second thing about debt financing also is that make sure you have enough liquidity to pay it down. There is nothing as horrible as not paying your loan. It doesn't speak well for credibility purposes. So always make sure you're able to pay down on your loans. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot about debt financing, but those are the two things I think I would like to highlight.
Awesome. This is what people are paying for. People are paying like dollars for this. Okay, the next question. The person chooses to be anonymous. Says, I am 27 and earning a salary of 450,000 naira, and I want to retire at 35 with at least $1 million in investments. What do I need to do? What skills should I pick up, and what should I start investing in right now? For context, I have about 4 years of experience in marketing, and I'm looking to retire as a C-suite level business operations person. $1 million, me too, I need that.
Oh my
From
God.
450K to $1 million by the time, did she give an age? Yeah, by 35.
My first instinct was say rob a bank, but I'm joking. So this is there are lots of layers to this, right? You already earn from what you've shared. You earn roughly about $300, and you want to make $1 million by 35. You have 8 years to do that. Now, then the other question is, I want to also be a C-suite executive. So there are many layers. Let me take the money, but then I'll take the C-suite executive. So from a money point of view, one of the things that I like to share with people about money is that money is a tool that very beautifully grows exponentially. The little you save and the more you invest, that investment continues to grow, and exponential returns lead you to where you want to be. So if you say you want to have $1 million in, say, 8 years' time, you may need to start saving roughly about $100,000 a year, just off of my head from calculating. And the question is, what are you going to do to get $100,000 in a year? So the question then is, you need to look at the skills you have. What skills do you have? You're in marketing. So perhaps you want to start improving, sharpening your marketing skills. That way, your skills are not only marketable in Nigeria, but they're also marketable internationally. Now, once you sharpen your skills, perhaps you can then command dollar returns or dollar income. Now, when you're commanding dollar income, it then means that you're charging appropriately, and then you can save more. And when you save more, then you can now start, investing, and then you can grow your money. Now, so the first thing is look inwards. What skills do you have? And a lot of people can say, "Oh, I'm good in marketing," but how good are you in marketing? Can you compete with the top brands? Can you compete with the top marketing gurus globally? Because that's the level you have to be at. And then what are your clients saying about you? So a lot of it is you need to sharpen your skills. So your marketing skills was very, very sharp. Now, once you do that, then you now increase your earning power. And once you increase your earning power, then investing and saving now starts to happen. But from where you are right now, I promise you, I don't think you're going to make it. So first thing, improve your skills. Now, you mentioned you want to be a C-suite person by 35. C-suite is just a name, right? C-suite is for people that are, it comes with experience and it comes with knowledge. Now, there's a Yoruba proverb I'm going to quote. It says, what a child can see standing up, an adult can see sitting down. And that is, there's some things that come only by age. They come by experience. If you're a C-suite person, the reason why they call C-suite is not just because, oh, they are in managerial roles. They're called C-suite because they bring to bear experience, the longevity of service. It means that they've seen highs and lows. You may have seen some highs and lows in 8 years, but I promise you, if a 60-year-old veteran sits next to you, what they will tell you, they've seen those highs and lows many, many times, so they have insight. So I don't want you to bandy around words like C-suite. There's really nothing to it. What you should focus more is on getting meaningful experience, improving your knowledge, improving your skills. That is more important. Listen, when you improve your skill, when you improve your knowledge, I promise you, there's no way you can't get to. Focus on doing the right things properly. Every other thing else, as the good book says, shall be added unto you. But $1 million is not impossible. Like I said, I'm giving you a cheat code. Go back and improve and sharpen your marketing skills. And then you can command the kind of money that you can save to $1 million.
Nice one. So there's no way somebody can go and pick like 1 million like this.
My sister, if you find the tree, let me know. I'm looking for the tree, and I've been in finance for over 23 years. If you find the tree that plots money, please call me. I will pick it up.
Bitch, I want to retire at 35. I won't mind. That's 2 years for me.
In fact, I wanted to even retire since.
As in, oh God. Okay, this third question, this person also chose to be anonymous, says, how do I negotiate for equity? I've just been promoted at my workplace and I found out that others at my level have equity as part of their compensation package. What can I do?
I love this question. And I tell you why I love this question. A lot of the times when people get, put in managerial positions, they only take the salary. And honestly, that's such a disservice. You're doing yourself a huge disservice. And why do I say so? You've been in this company for years. You're helping this company build their wealth, build their brand, but your wealth is not growing. Remember I said to you, that negotiate your salary from where you want to be in 5 years. And this person is thinking, right? He says, probably in 5 years' time, I want to be in a position where I'm commanding a certain level of wealth. And I'm not going to do that on a salary. So equity is the way to go. There's no other way to negotiate it. Just have a conversation. Just say, listen, I've been working in this company for X number of years. You promoted me in the time. So I feel like there's some points that you need to have. So let me go back and unwind. So you want equity. The first thing is in the role that you've been given. What are the things that you hope to achieve in that role? And when you're going to achieve those things in that role, what do they mean for the company? What value do they bring to the company? If you're in an income generating role, what income are you hoping to give to the company? If you're in an operational efficiency role, what are those metrics that need to happen that you can share with the company? Now, when you put all those points together, then you now say, look, what is the value of all the things I'm going to deliver? Whatever value you ascribe to it, then you can now say, okay, then you can now have an idea and have a number in your head. Then you also go and ask the people that have equity. Do some espionage. Okay, so what did they give you? Okay, you have 10, you have 5, you have 20. Okay, very good. Whatever they had, I'm throwing numbers out in the air. Now, what you can then do is, if you're a woman, I'll give you a different advice. If you're a man, I'll give you a different advice. If you're a woman and your peers ask for 3% and they're on 3%, if you're a woman, ask for 8. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're a woman, the chance that your company is going to lowball you and say we can only give you 1 is very high. If you go for 3. But if you say 8, you say, we can't give you 8 now, then they'll give what everybody is getting, you can even get more. But if you're a man and you go and say 3, you probably would likely get your 3. So that's fine. So that's why I'm saying that for a man and woman, I'll give different advice. And then take those points and then go and, once you have what your peers are getting, take it and go. Another thing you should also add is, what are your external peers getting?
True.
Because sometimes your internal peers may even be shortchanged and they don't know. So, but your external peers may be getting 4, your internal peers may be getting 3. I don't care what your internal peers say. My external peers are getting 4. This is what the industry standard is. So your friends ask for 3. You are going to ask for 8 if you're a woman. And when they come, you say, okay, I want 4. That puts you above and you're okay. But asking for equity, fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. And it depends on what the terms of the company are. Some companies will say it will vest after 3 years. Some companies will say it will vest after 5 years. Whatever the terms are, make sure you go with an offer. And whatever offer you're going with, go ask for something slightly, if you're a woman, out of range.
Okay.
You will meet where you want to get to. Always, as a woman, always ask for out of range so that you can meet somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
And that's the best. It was fantastic advice, fantastic question. And yes, go for it.
So I want to ask a question, piggybacking on that. Why is it that as women we have to ask for out of range? I think I might know, but I would like you to explain.
I mean, I think that there is a stereotype that comes with women generally. I think most women are afraid of asking for their worth.
Okay.
We are always afraid of asking for our worth. A lot of women, when it comes to asking for their worth, we're like, I'm afraid. What if I can't do the job properly? What if something happens and I've asked for too much money and it doesn't work well? So women always approach negotiations from what skill do they have. So a woman would hardly ever ask for more when she doesn't think she has the skill. But a man, knowing that he cannot even do the work, will go there and say, I can do the work. Most of them will say, listen, I can do the work. And then if they're offering the role is 10 naira, I want it for 20 naira. Because there's just an air that men carry around. So women, we're often afraid of asking for what we are worth. How much more asking for what we are worth plus what we want to go and achieve? So because of that, I always advise women that always ask for, your ask must scare you. So when you're saying the number, everybody will be like, hey, Jesus, so this number. I'm about to ask for $10 million. This number is a lot. Ask for it. Because the chances are that if you go in there and ask for what you're worth, most firms would negotiate regardless. If you ask for 10 naira, they say, can't you take 7 naira? Because, which manager, think about it now, which manager would
just come and say,
10 naira? Okay, we'll give it 10 naira. No, they will say, can't you take 7.5? Because their job is to make sure that they get it for the best value.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, as a woman, you're already afraid to ask, and you will not even get what you ask for automatically. You might as well ask for something that will make everybody else stagger. Okay. So you go there and you be like, so everybody's asking for 500,000. You say, well, I want 1 million.
Who are you? Who is this?
Let them even be angry and send it back. I say, madam, what's going on here? Your mates are never getting 1 million. I was like, 1 million. Okay, let's think about this. Now, what happens is that by the time you've asked them for 1 million, you've changed the game. Now, everybody's on the table and we're now having proper conversations. They know you're not a pushover.
Yeah.
They know that you're now available for. So they will stop all their nonsense. And everybody comes correct and say, okay, we can't give you $1 million. We can maybe give you this amount of money. Okay. But the other things we'll add to it. Because there are many other things that women want, right? Sometimes you want a day off to work remotely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to be able to have, if you're a working mom, you want 28 working leave days off, 28 days off for work, as opposed to 20 days, right? Now, if that's the case, then you can negotiate that as part of your package. You want maybe to travel once a year for training. True. So if you're not going to give me my $1 million, you give me 1 year of
now pay travel. For my MBA.
You pay for my MBA. So there are many other things you can add and can change the negotiation conversation. But if you go in there from a lowball point of view, they will lowball you.
True. So
always tell women, if everybody's collecting 750, ask for 1.5. Let them be
double.
Let them say no. Let them be slightly annoyed. Okay. When we're annoyed, then here, okay, let's discuss.
I love that. Let them be slightly annoyed.
Let must be slightly, because the man will go there and ask for 1.5, and they'll be like, okay, and which is weird. We're both doing the same work, but and then if you're single, you hear things like, you're single. What do you need money for?
Money? That thing is so annoying. I've heard people come, and I'm like, what? What does that mean now?
Oh, they hear you like, but you're married, and you're not take care of your children for.
So you can't win if you're married. You can't win if you're single. Like, what kind of?
I don't understand. I was like, when they say because you're single, I said that's why I even need the money because I don't have anybody giving me. So you hear all sorts of things, but I think for me, what's important is speak from a point of worth.
Okay.
Because when you get in there, you make a difference. You make a difference. You're going to go in there, give your best. You're going to work really hard. Because a woman will want to justify that $1 million. She will say, listen, I've asked for this money, I must deliver. And because that's the mindset, she will do everything in her power to deliver. And because of that, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Because only if you're a good, skillful working woman, no. Don't go there and now be half-assed. And then I want to, don't go and ask.
Because the next woman that asks for 1.5 now, they'll be like, they've come again.
But if you're sure of, as your Bible say, if you're sure of your worth, ask for it. Ask for it and deliver. And not only just deliver, over-deliver. Because when you now over deliver, I promise you, you will get calls. You will definitely get calls. Over deliver, you will get calls.
Okay. So the next person, they calls themselves Toby is running away from Palmpay loans. This person said, I have multiple loans and credit card debts. What's the best strategy to pay them off quickly and improve my financial health?
Toby, I am so sorry that you found yourself in this mess. And I think, we can laugh, but that's some people's reality, right? And I say that because it's tough to be in an economy where sometimes the basic needs in your life, right, elude you. And so you feel like you have no other option than to borrow money. I sympathize with you. However, you should borrowing money is not something that is good for your spirit or your soul. When you do it just willy-nilly without having a plan in place. Okay. When you're borrowing money, always have a repayment plan. Now you're in this position, you don't have a repayment plan. The first thing you need to do, which I know most people think, oh my God, how can I do this? So go to the people that owe money and say, listen, I'm so sorry I'm owing you. I am owing you and I'm so sorry. This is how much I'm owing you. Please, I need your help. Can we reduce the charges? Or can you reduce the amount of interest you're charging me? If the answer is no, say, I want to pay back, but this is my situation. This is what I'm going through. Now, chances that they will say yes or no is, they may not say yes, they may not say no, whatever that looks like. Now, the other thing I'll also say is immediately don't borrow anymore. Stop borrowing any more money. Don't borrow anymore. Meet all your people that you owe and tell them you're having problems and then discuss with them. Now, once you have done that, the third thing I'm going to say, I've said the first one, stop borrowing. Secondly, speak to your people that you're owing. Thirdly, what work are you doing? Now, if you're only doing salary work, maybe you need to start selling something in conjunction with it. Mm-hmm. One thing I'm very clear on, I don't know how old Toby is. One thing I'm very clear on is no money smells. Hard work money is better than owing money. Mm. And you can sell anything from water, bottled water, and be a distributor. Just buy 10. Even if it's 100. Remember I said money has exponential components. If you're making it, you can be using that interest. Even if you pay 100 naira a day, before you know what's happening, 100 naira a day times 30 days, that's 3,000. It may look like a small amount of money, but something is happening in that cycle. Now, increase your earning capacity. You have to increase your earning capacity. If it means taking jobs that you ordinarily would not do. I didn't say you should go and do Yahoo. I didn't say you should go and steal money. I didn't say you should go and defraud somebody. No. But even if you say, look, Iwa, I can maybe write some letters for you. Can I write letters for you? Pay me 5K. That's something. Start doing CV. Oh, I can write CVs for you. That's 5K. Oh, I can do Instagram reel. All these people on Instagram looking for people that can do Instagram. I'll do Instagram reel for you. Every reel I do is 2.5 per reel, and I can do it well. You earn 2.5. If you do 10 reels in a day, that's 25K. People now know you. Toby, you do reels. Come and do reels for me. There is no look. You're in an economy where making money has never been easier. You have no excuse. So the first thing you need to do, what you need to do is increase your earning capacity. Whatever that looks like. There's no sleep for the wicked. Don't sleep. You are young, I assume. So if you only sleep for 5 hours a day, that's okay. Use the time and look for a way to generate income. You must generate income. I can follow you to party. If you're a photographer, I can carry your equipment for you. They'll pay you 10K. Take that money. Take 2K out of it. Feed. You may need to start going on the diet because it is very important that you pay down your loans. Paying down your loans is honestly, it just shows you a person of character. You must pay your loans. It is. I don't know how to say it more than that. You must pay your loans. Mm-hmm. It would affect you. There's places that you won't get into. Mm-hmm. Doors will not open for you in some places. Mm-hmm. So paying your loans is a sign of good character. Mm-hmm. Increase your earning income. And once you start increasing your earning income, be disciplined. Say no. Boys want to go and, I don't know if Toby is a girl or a boy. If Toby is a girl,
my friends are buying Bone Streets.
I don't have money. You don't have, how can I say don't have money? I don't have, don't buy any Bone Streets. As a matter of fact, how long you should go and shave your hair and be doing baba, or if you don't, I'm joking, don't shave your hair. Or go and do one braids that the braids will last you for 6 months or whatever. Manage yourself. I don't have clothes. Wear what you have. Wear what you have. I can't eat. Eat noodles. Be creative. There are many ways to do many things. I don't know what your financial situation is, but the fact remains that if you're in this level of debt, it could be either lack of planning, maybe something happened to you, but whatever it is, you need to increase your income. And once you do that and you pay down off all your debt, don't take any more loans until you learn how to be disciplined. Don't take any loans until you learn how to be disciplined. It's very important. But you must pay your loans. You must pay your loans. I'm sorry you're in this position, but you have to get out of it by yourself. There's no, look, you won't win the lottery. Let me tell you, that's one thing I will also add. You know, when people take all these loans, they always say, oh, maybe, somebody just dash me 1 million naira. No,
True.
no, my dear sister or brother, whoever you are, nobody is dashing you anything. God, and I don't want to put God in it, but it's it's a test of your character. This ability to pay down your loan. So there's no money coming from anywhere. You will not win any lottery. Fix your character. Once you fix your character and you pay down that loan, it will work better for you in the future.
Yeah. And another thing is, I want to say about this is, in financial services now, we're getting a lot of data about people.
Oh, yes.
But you want to take those loans, they're asking for your NIN, your BVN, right?
Yes.
Imagine the impact that will have for you 10 years down. You're like, maybe you must get a mortgage or something. They'll be like, you are a chronic debtor. We're not lending any more money to you. So I think it's very important, like you said, for him to pay down his loan.
In fact, let me just add to what you said. Even if you jackpot and you go to Canada, it is so bad now that they will say, okay, bring a credit report. They can even say, bring a credit report from your Nigerian credit bureau to test your character. Oh, I've not taken. Okay, let me see something. Because you'll be amazed at how interconnected the world is becoming. So you may get away with it in Nigeria. Somebody will say, okay, let me see your credit history in your former bank or whatever. You may get away with one or two, but you'll come and bite you.
Sure.
Come and
Very true. So the next person that wrote into us calls himself father of two. Says, I live in Canada with my family and we moved here in 2019. I'm currently planning to buy a house in Nigeria. What are the most important financial considerations and steps I should take to prepare for this purchase?
You know, I think the question I'm going to ask is, why do you want to buy a house in Nigeria?
Okay.
I mean, some things are nice, but are they expedient? Why do you want to buy a house in Nigeria? Is it an investment property? Or I'm just buying a house because I want to check a mark and I bought a house?
True.
1, 2. The second question I will ask is, are you planning on coming home to Nigeria every year? And so you need a place to stay. If the answer is no, then again, why are you buying the house? 3, if you do buy this house, would it be rented out and used for, to make money?
Okay.
If the answer is also no, then why are you buying a house? I think that there are certain traditions that we hold on to that are sentimental but are not prudent.
Okay.
Buying a house is one of them. Not everybody, I have clients that will tell me that I don't ever want to own a house. I'd rather travel the world.
Wow.
Yes. So again, I think for me, I'm questioning the question. Let's question these motives. Let's question these traditions that we have. Is it because people think you must have a house in Nigeria, or is it because I truly need a house in Nigeria? Now, if you tell me, oh, I have a portfolio of properties,
Okay.
and I want to have a house in Nigeria as part of my portfolio that I rent out and I'm making money from, by all means, let's buy a house in Nigeria. Then the question now is, if I'm buying a house from an investment point of view, which location is best for investment?
Okay.
Could it be that the location I'm looking at must be one where I can have a high turnover of occupants, or is the rent, there must be something.
Okay.
So if it's, I want to buy a property, I want to use it for Airbnb, and I'm going to position it in a place like Surulere.
Okay.
Because of course, maybe Surulere is very commercial, people come all the time, and it means that my rental income will be great. By all means, buy a property. I know maybe I have a lot of liability in Nigeria, and so the income from that house in Nigeria would pay for all my Nigerian expenses, and I'm still running. Maybe my parents are still here, and I want them to, have running expenses.
Okay.
By all means, buy a house. But if I want to just buy a house because, I question those things. Okay, so you buy a house and then you lock it up for 11 months of the year. Why?
Yeah.
Why? What, that's waste. That's a waste of money. That's a waste of resources. That money could have been well spent doing other meaningful things for you. You could have put that money in an investment account for your children, for their education. There's so many things you can do. So I question, again, ask yourself, why am I wanting to buy a house in Nigeria? What is the goal? What is the aim? Is it investment? Is it just so I can say, oh, I have a house in Nigeria? To what end? Of course, if you're very rich and it's like a 0.01% of your portfolio, buy a house. Buy a house.
0.0. Ha, God, when? God, when? A whole house. Okay. So the final question I will take, this person calls herself or himself. Kemi, is that a male? Is that
I think
a
mostly
most female?
female.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly female.
Kemi dollars says, I earn both in naira and dollars, about $1,000 and over 1 million naira per month. I have been saving about half of my naira earnings while converting some of my dollars. I guess while converting some to dollars
Yeah.
while converting some of my dollars to naira
Okay.
when needed,
Yeah.
because I'm not so certain that the conversion rate will always remain favorable for me.
Yeah.
I currently have about $3,000 sitting in my dorm account and 3 million in naira. What advice would you give me? How can I maximize my savings?
First of all, Kemi is rich. Kemi is rich. No, I'm joking, but I'm part serious. So, Kemi, you're in a very advantageous position, and I love it. How old is Kemi again? You should put her age.
No, didn't put an age.
Kemi, I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you have dollar income and naira income. It's very fantastic. Now, one of the things about investment I always tell people is that what is the operating environment like? So, what's the macro story of Nigeria? Sadly, we have inflation rate has been high for the past couple of months. Our exchange rate, despite achieving some level of stability, is still, not as stable as the government would like it to be. And then the cost of, living, of course, has risen, significantly. So my advice to you will be, one, save all your dollar income, spend all your naira income.
Okay.
So your dollar income should be your savings, your naira income should be your spending. Now, because you live in Nigeria, spending naira makes sense. Now, saving your dollar is also great. Now, you have currently your liquidity is 3 million naira, $3,000. I would say look for a fund or something that you can invest your dollar in immediately that can give you some income. So, for example, if there's any, there are people that will be able to fix your dollar for you, maybe at about 3,000, maybe whatever, $3,000 maybe too small, maybe you need about $5,000. Find out who they are and let's start earning income. Savings is great, but investment is better. So you must invest. So savings is great, but investment is better. So you must invest that $3,000. That's the first step. Or you can look for, look for someone that understands, foreign markets and buy some foreign stocks. Again, everything must be with knowledge. There is no point doing anything without understanding. And if you're not even sure what to do, an easy step is, like I said, fix your dollars. Now, the naira one, it's good to have naira funding because anything can happen. You may have an emergency, right? So what I would suggest is, out of that, the naira funds you have, maybe take 2 million naira and buy government treasury bills. The rates have been quite attractive. You can buy them in the secondary market or buy the federal government savings bond. So you can buy that, and that will give you a decent return. So maybe the remaining 1 million you can now put in a fixed deposit in the bank, or you can even buy some Nigerian stocks with it. Right. So you can do half Nigerian stocks, and you can then fix the 500,000 in a fixed deposit. So that way, if you need any, urgent, you can get the 500,000 naira cash and spend it before you maybe, unwind your FGM bonds. So I think that would be my advice for you. But I would say between, going forward, save all your dollars as much as possible and spend your naira. And, what I would also say is find a way to increase your income. I don't know how old you are, but if there's a way to increase your income, my dear, you're young. Increase it. If you're young, increase it.
Even if you're old, carry camera and start doing TikTok because
no, I'm not sure everybody's made for TikTok, but always. Find ways to increase your income. That's what I always say.
Thank you. I think we've answered enough questions. Maybe we'll have to do this another day.
There's one question I liked. Maybe if you can touch on it quickly. Somebody mentioned about their lifestyle.
Okay, this person.
It's not about spa.
Yes. So this person is calling themselves just getting back from the spa. So this person doesn't soft life is what this person is all about.
Yes.
So he or she says, what are some practical tips for reducing everyday expenses without compromising on my quality of life? I like to eat out, buy my skincare, shop at Renee's, go for drinks with the girls, and do my monthly beauty routine. I like the soft girl lifestyle, please. Am I supposed to start eating Nasco cornflakes because of Tinubu?
You know what? I like this question. And I like this question. Whenever people come and meet me to help them with financial planning, they always ignore these things. And they focus on the big, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car. I said, but, investment should not be suffering. I'm being honest with you. I said, because the moment you think that you are suffering, the joy and the desire to do it reduces.
That's true.
So it's from a very psychological point of view. I'm always like, no, we're not going to remove what you enjoy doing. That's part of your DNA. It's what makes you who you are. So we need to incorporate what you love to do in your financial plan. The question is, you often spend money on what you don't love to do because you think that's what people expect you to do.
Okay.
Give an example. I like eating out. I like spa. In that thing now, she didn't mention Ashwebi. But I bet you somebody will
probably
say
dying.
so if you don't like Ashwebi, where you buy Ashwebi? Just say, Ashwebi, I don't buy Ashwebi. I want to go to the spa. Because that's what's important to me. Or I want to do my hair. I don't want Ashwebi. So the question is, there are many things that you do because you think you have to do it, not because it is truly something that brings joy to you.
Okay.
The question is, the solution then is focus on what brings you joy.
Okay.
The things that don't bring you joy, kill it entirely. So if what brings you joy is eating out, going to the spa, doing your hair, shopping at Renee's, focus on it. If what doesn't bring you joy is Ashwebi, don't buy Ashwebi. Once you understand what is important to you, spending your money, investing your money becomes more exciting. Once you give up what brings you joy, spending your money, investing your money begins to feel like a problem. Give you an example. I like shopping. I'm not even going to lie. My personal like people, I love to shop. So I'm not a spa person, but if there is a nice clothing brand and there's one nice dress there, I'll probably buy it.
Okay.
But if there is a spa that opened last week, I'm not going to that spa. In fact, I think maybe I go to the spa maybe 2 or 3 times in a year. I'm not a spa person.
Okay.
Right, but I like clothes. So if I'm not a spa person and I like to, why would I waste my money on spa because it's an in thing? You'll never catch me spending some money on the spa. I like my hair.
Okay.
So I will spend money on my hair. Some other person will say, I don't care for my hair. I want it locked. Do what works for you.
Okay.
I love eating out, but I also like to cook. So it's a balance. I like shopping at Renee's, in fact. But I also realize that sometimes I can find some other people that are cheaper. So I balance it. So everything's about balance. But if on my own priority, it could be shopping or buying clothes. Your own priority could be spa. Our priorities are different, but they're just as valid.
Okay.
Now, if you want to kill me, just tell me I can't shop. I may be depressed.
Problem. Okay, I understand.
So know what works for you, plan accordingly. Once you do that, savings and investment become so easy.
Okay.
So balance. Say and be very emphatic on saying no to things that you don't like. Like for example, if someone gives me a Ashwebi, I don't buy a Ashwebi. I can only buy Ankara 6K. That one won't pay me. I will now go and find one tailor that will save for me for a small amount. That's okay. I'm okay. But I will not buy a Ashwebi of 50. If I have a wedding to go to and they say, oh, buy a Ashwebi 60K, don't worry, I don't want. I'm not interested. Because guess what? I rather go to buy my clothes. So I'll look for one of the things I bought at some fits the occasion. I wear it. Or someone says, go and do makeup 50K. I don't.
Hi.
I'd rather go and tie Gele 5K, do my makeup. My point is, there's some things you will give up. But there's some things that are intrinsic to who you are that I can never give up. So the question is balance, finding that balance. So don't worry too much about letting go of what you love. Worry about, be very, very, very clear about what you don't want and be firm about cutting it off. And enjoy the things you love fully. Enter it and enjoy it. Because once you're enjoying it, you will save your money.
That's true, because the moment you are just restricting yourself from everything that you love, that joy is not even there. At some point, you'll be like, I've saved 2 million, let me go and blow it. Yeah, that's true. Very solid advice. Thank you. Okay, so we've answered enough questions. We'll get into what we actually came here to talk about. We're talking about money. But before we get into that, I know I did a bit of an introduction, but maybe you can expand on that a bit. Who are you? And how did you find yourself here today? I'd like to ask that question.
So, who am I? How did I find myself here? Very interesting. I've always liked math. So, it's something I've always just enjoyed doing. And I did economics. And when I did economics, I was very clear when I finished university. I want to work in a bank or an oil company. As a matter of fact,
two ways about it.
The only places I ever applied to were banks and oil company. I didn't even apply anywhere else. I was gone sure I was going to get a job in either of the two. I also did accounting. I started ICANN when I was in year 2. So I was very clear in my...
You started ICANN in year 2?
Yeah, I didn't finish it, but I started in year 2. But that was how gone sure I was that I was going to be in finance. It was not a question. Maybe it also helped that my mom was in finance. My aunt, my mom, who I looked up to, and my aunt, who I also looked up to, were in banks. They all work in banks. But I've always liked numbers, so it was always going to be one or the other. Then I fell into stockbroking because I also wanted to add value.
Okay.
So I'm very big on impact and value, and I just didn't want to do banking for banking's sake. I wanted to add
Just be
value.
wearing heels and
No, I wanted to add value.
Yeah.
So because of that, it was important to me to, get some knowledge in stockbroking. So, and of course, I did that, and I worked in various stockbroking firms. I worked in CSL, I worked in FBN Quest, and I also worked in RM stockbroking. So it's been a fantastic couple of years. I would say the last 10 years of my life, I've been more in management executive roles. In FBN, I was MD there. In RMB, I was MD there. And in the last, 4 years of my life, I've spent that in, running my own business, founding my own businesses, and of course, setting them up. It's been quite an interesting journey. So that's the story of my life. And now, how did I get into financial advisory and financial planning? I realized that most of my peers didn't have anyone advising them on the money that they were receiving. They were making all this money, and the advice out there was so weak.
Okay.
There was nothing really happening. Everybody just say, "Oh, do treasury bills." Nobody was actually sitting down with them and helping them with the real questions. Like we just answered all these questions now.
Yeah.
People have genuine questions. Do I go to the spa? Do I save my money? That's a real life dilemma. Why? You know what I'm saying? So people have real life dilemmas. And so my goal was to say, listen, one cannot exist without the other.
Okay.
It's a holistic plan. You're a whole human being. You're not just the money you make.
Sure.
You're the life you live. And so that's how I just came into it. I realized that there was a gap in the market. So I do that on an individual level and also on the family level. And in Genea, where the goal is to help families and successful businesses build legacies. And so that's really how, so like I said, I'm big on impact. So how can I be impactful on an individual level and on a family level? And so that's how, businesses came to be.
I love what you just said. You're not just the money you make, you're the life you live. But it's true if you go and save $10 million now, you die tomorrow. What's going to happen to that money?
You know what? It's a very sad and very true reality. And because that's what it is, we need to balance things out. And in a country like Nigeria, it can feel like you constantly have to build this wealth. But you also have to find a way to enjoy the wealth. And enjoyment is different for everyone. When we think of enjoyment in Nigeria, everybody always thinks, oh, buy designer. No. Sometimes for me, enjoyment is, it could be cooking, using fresh ingredients. For some other person, enjoyment could be sitting on the balcony and collecting fresh breeze.
Honestly.
It's the simple things.
Yeah.
Or drinking a chilled bottle of Coke. It doesn't have to be anything grand. Sometimes the things we enjoy are not big things, they're small things. It could be going on holiday with your family, and it could be a holiday in Ibadan, or it could be anything.
Yeah.
It's just the time with the family. So that enjoyment is important. It's important.
Awesome. Yeah. So live your life while you're also thinking about money,
Live
right?
your life. You have to live your life.
Yeah. So what would you say are there any resources, podcasts, books, or anything that have gotten you to like the mindset you are or where you are today?
It would be books. I read a lot of books. I'm big on books. A couple of books have changed my life. One of the books that changed my life really from a financial point of view was Robert Kiyosaki. One of the earliest books I read, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
I really like that book a lot. It really just shaped my mind into concept of investing, concept of, saving. As a young person, I read it when I was like 21 or 22. I really liked that. Another book that I also was 7 Habits of Highly Successful People.
Okay.
It's also another book that really also changed my life. One of my earlier books. I thought that it was very instrumental into just giving me some habits that I needed to live up to. In more recent times, a book that I like, when I say recent, like the last 10 years, one of the books I really enjoyed reading was Outliers. I love that book.
Okay, I think I need to pick it up then.
Oh, it's a phenomenal book. Malcolm Gladwell. I thought it was just amazing. And for me, what I liked about that book, is just, it tells you how the importance of times and seasons, the importance of skill, of honing your skill, of doing things over, of consistency. In a country in Nigeria where people are not consistent at being excellent, the value of just being consistent and how that changes the level of skill you have in any given role you're given. I love that book. So what else? Where else do I get my knowledge from? Believe it or not, I get it from Instagram.
Okay.
I know. I love to watch people. I'm a people watcher. I love to study trends. I love to study people. I follow the most random people. I glean knowledge from random people, right? I follow influencers. And I don't follow them for what people think I follow them for. People think, oh, for shoes and bags. No. I look at their strategy. I look at how they market. I look at how they product develop. I look at how they build wealth. I find it very fascinating. I find out that people, we cannot be on Instagram, you're looking at them for the wrong way. I follow the most controversial people. I follow Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
Controversial. Why do I follow her? I love her branding. Her branding is fantastic. Again, I learn knowledge from all of these things because knowledge is everywhere.
Sure.
We cannot be looking at the same thing, but we're seeing differently. So I have my books and I love podcasts. Oh my God, I'm a huge podcast person. Yes, I'm actually listening. I was listening to a podcast on my way here.
Okay.
It's called Acquired.
Yeah, I know.
love
Yes.
Acquired. And for someone that works in investment banking like me, Acquired just speaks to my soul. I love Acquired. I listen to podcasts on financial planning. So I'm a podcast geek.
Okay.
if I'm not watching YouTube and watching some documentary or something, I'm listening to my podcast.
Yeah.
So some of the things that I do.
Yeah, I love podcasts actually. Like the information you never would have seen anywhere else is literally at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll just quickly go through your career highlights.
Okay.
What have been some of your career highlights? Were there any stumbling blocks? How did you navigate them?
What are my career highlights? I think my career highlights they come from, I think, first people.
Okay.
When I joined RMB and I was starting the company from scratch, being able to hire people to come and join me to work with me was a major achievement. I didn't know hiring people was so hard in life.
Apparently it is.
I didn't know. But, people trusted me. They believed in me. They trusted me to take care of them, to carry their vision. And for me, I love that. And most of the people that I hired in the business, they'd worked with me in previous times.
Okay.
That's a testament to the kind of person I am. If you want to know who you are as a leader, when you leave where you're working, if nobody follows you, you're a bad leader. Go and check yourself. True. If none of your staff are willing to follow you to your new place of work, go and check yourself. If other people are able to follow me, means that I must have done something right. And I don't take it lightly. I was deeply honored that they chose to follow me. I was deeply appreciative and I fought for them to get what they wanted in terms of compensation. The second thing is when people recommend you, there's no greater honor.
True.
People always ask me, oh, how did you get this? How did you get that? I said, believe it or not.
Please no recommendation.
I sat down in my house and I got a phone call. And the phone call was, oh, we want you for so and so. Why? Somebody recommended you and we want you. Do you know what it means for someone to stick out their neck for you? Somebody is sticking out their neck and saying, oh, you must hire this person.
They know you will not disappoint.
I don't take those things lightly. I honor those sort of gestures. I honor them because it says a lot about how they view me and they value me, and I don't let them down. And that's the number two thing. What else have I enjoyed in my career? That's, my clients trusting me. I think when people trust you to deliver on what you promise to deliver on, don't let them down. Just die there. And sometimes it comes at an expense to personal choices. And sometimes I say personal choices. Things may not always be convenient for you, but because you've made a promise, you must deliver. So for me, those are the three pillars that are important. People, and it's about people. You see, I didn't mention profits.
That's what I was expecting.
Because
that's interesting.
Because when you have people, everything else happens.
Okay.
The right team means everything, means a lot. The wrong team
can be your downfall.
So people, I'm big on people, the right kind of people. If you have the right kind of person around you, oh my God, you will fly. You will absolutely fly. And if you think about people that have been successful, the reason why they're successful, usually is because they had the right kind of people around them who either believed in them or gave them a chance. So when you have a bit of both, there's no way you can't get to. So those are my three highlights.
So I know people will be thinking about, okay, people, does that mean I should be networking and be meeting Tony Elumelu at events and saying, hello, Mr. Tony Elumelu, I'm Kiniko, I do this, blah, 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 blah. Is that what you mean?
So let me say this, and I'm going to quote a good book. The good book says, the Bible says, "Find me a man that is diligent in his work, and he will stand before kings and not mere men." And that's the truth. I have, maybe because I'm the first child as well of my family. So whenever I'm given a role, I take it personally. I don't take it as a role of, oh, you just hired me. No, it is my personal job. You've given me this job, I take it personally. It means that I am going to do this job as if I am the owner of the company. I'm going to do this job as if there's no other way, but only this way. I'm going to put everything on the line for this job. And when you're diligent, when you're diligent in your job, even where people don't know you, your name will get there on your behalf. I remember I had an interview that I went to. This interview twice. So the same person. The first time he interviewed me, I had finished the interview and I was leaving. I think maybe about my walk or my gait or my stride. He calls me and says, "Oh, let me interview you." He interviews me and said, "Oh, I like you. I'm hiring you."
Wow.
I got the job. That's when it was my entry, my first real job. So fast forward a couple of years later, that company that hired me, for whatever reason, they had the right sizing and I lost my job. Which is fine. No. It's a good part. So I was not looking for another job to change into. I went back to that company again. Now the person that called me, who was the founder of the company, when he saw me immediately and I said to him, he said, "I know you." I said, "Yeah." "And you've interviewed me for that? You worked with me?" I said, "Yeah, I did." He said, "I liked you and I remembered you. Why didn't we let you go?" I said, "Oh, I don't know." He said, "Oh, wow, I really want you to come back."
Wow.
And he gave me an offer that I asked for and matched his salary and everything. I didn't take the job. But even after I didn't take that job, he came back again a couple of years after, offered me another role again. My point is that when you're good at what you do, you don't need to know anybody. They know your name. See those people that you're chasing, all the Tony and Co. and everybody and Mr. Ilumelu, if you're good at what you do, they're the ones that will say, "Hello, you. How are you? I've heard about you. I want you to work with me. I want you on my team." I don't know what that looks like, but I want you on my team. When you're good at what you do, people will look for you. You worry about being good at what you do. Forget about trying to let people know who you are. Once you are good, those that need to know you
Will know who you
they will
are.
look for you. And they are looking. One of the things I found the hardest to achieve, is hiring the right staff. Good people are not plenty outside. Yeah. I'm telling you, there are more people that are mediocre than are good.
Wow.
So in a sea of mediocre people,
Stand
be
out.
the best.
Yeah.
Exactly. Stand out. Stand out.
I love that.
And when you stand out, see those people that don't know your name, they will find you say, "I've heard about you. I've heard about you." Or they will ask one or two. They don't even know you. They will ask their children, "Do you know, Daddy, Stella,
True.
quality person."
So that's why you shouldn't go around now saying, "Do you know who I am?" And insulting people. You don't know. That may be the daughter of your next boss.
You don't know who anybody is.
Yeah.
And I've realized I've gotten older. The thing that your people say, "Omi leyon." Those that you don't know, if you count 3 people,
You would probably know someone that knows them.
there's one that knows them. So just be focused. So at this age, I say once you are below 30, just focus on being the best. Build the skill. Don't worry about people knowing you. You just put your head on the table. Just work hard.
Yeah.
By the time you are 40, all this hard work you're doing, you'll just be cruising.
Yeah.
Work hard. Spend your youth to build the competencies. Build the skill. Don't be lazy. Work. If there's work to be done, be there. Don't just do it well. Do it excellently well.
Yeah.
You get the right opportunities.
Amazing advice. Yeah. With all your experience, can you tell us more about your work as a financial wealth advisor? What do you do? How does your day look like?
I think pretty much depends on the clients I have, and
Okay.
how I approach my clients is really like I said to you, there are no hold. I tell my clients, listen, just come as you are, don't feel bad, and let's just discuss.
Okay.
And I realize that a huge part of money is not really the numbers. A lot of people focus on numbers. Yeah, numbers are great, but humans are more important. How you live your life, how you spend your money is what's important to me. And how can we ensure that the way you spend your money aligns with the kind of values you espouse? So I'll give you an example. One of my clients came to meet me and, she wanted financial advice. And when we spoke, we realized that she was overextending herself financially. And because she was overextending herself financially, her husband wasn't as financially supportive
Okay.
as he needed to be. And so what then happened was that by the time we did the exercise, he was not like, well, I think I need to meet a financial planner because he realized that, she then realized that, you need to do more in this area, right? And not in the mean way, just in a sense, okay, well, I analyzed it for her. I actually didn't say anything. I just analyzed it, and she's like, "Oh wow!" And so she started seeing that, okay, perhaps I need some more support in this area. So I didn't actually say anything. The numbers don't lie. And then they were like, "Oh well, I need to do so." And then of course the partner, of course, who is very kind and loving, said, "Actually, you're right. I need to maybe support you a bit more." I mean, she told me that later on, but just to show that it really also exposes certain conversations that we need to have in the financial planning process. Another thing about what I do is that I'm very big on what my clients need.
Okay.
I don't care so much about, selling them any products. I don't sell them any mutual fund. If you have a mutual fund, I'll just look at it for you and assess it. If it works,
okay.
And if it works, we'll leave it.
Okay.
So I'm big on making sure that your financial plan aligns with the values that you want to espouse. Some of my clients were like, "Oh, well, I really want to buy property." I said, "Okay, that's great." But it also told me that I want to retire in another country.
Okay.
I said, "Okay, that's very great too." So we had that conversation. And then the person now comes and says, "Well, I've seen the property I want to buy. I think I want to do Airbnb." I said, "Very good." I said, "Okay, well, I don't think it's part of your plan." Which is, I said, "Well, but I really want it." I said, "Not a problem. I'm also wise." I said, "Okay, you know what we're going to do? Don't do anything yet. If you want to do it, I will support you. I will make a plan for you.
Okay.
But go and find out how easy it is to run an Airbnb and come back and tell me."
Okay.
And the person said, "Okay." And the person goes, I feel like, I'm like 3 weeks. I was like, "I've not heard from you. What's happening?" He said, "I've investigated the Airbnb. I can't do it." I said, "But you wanted," "No, I can't do it. In fact, I can't do Airbnb." I said, "Okay, that's great. So what do you want to do?" He said, "Don't worry, I'll still look for the property and whatever." Anyway, fast forward, she then tells me, "Oh, I told you I wanted to move to another country. I won't mind retiring in another country."
Okay.
I said, "Yes." He said, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" He said, "I found a beautiful expanse of land that had a lake in it, that had wildlife, and that's the land I want to buy." And I got a good deal. And then she ended up buying the land. It was an amazing. Like, it's now going to be something that she's going to build that will align with her values.
Wow.
That not that aligns with her values in terms of where she wants to live, in terms of the kind of image that she has planned, like a Zen atmosphere people can retire into. Like, it was just aligned with her dreams.
Just can you imagine?
So again, for me, is that I'm not sure if you're looking for a financial planner, I'm going to tell you buy stocks and bonds. It's not me. I'm more about ensuring that the money and the wealth you create is valuable to your values, as opposed to just checking a financial box. So that's how I approach it. And so my clients like me for that. I don't do cookie cutter. I come up with ideas, we innovate, and then we build a plan that allows them to live their best life, while at the same time, and building wealth along the way. And I can't, to be honest, I can't work with everyone. I'm very clear.
Okay. But I think it's obvious because some people say, you need Airbnb.
No,
Straight, let me go and look for
I can't work with
property.
everyone. We must align. That's one. Two, a certain level of income that will make sense for both you and I to have a conversation. And once we have that, we can make it work.
Okay. So you said something interesting about the lady who realized that, there wasn't the balance in, I guess, her husband's contribution to their finances, right? So would you say that that's been a trend, or what trends have you seen around maybe how women manage money, how men manage money, how people manage money as a family?
You know what I think? I think that managing money as a family really depends on you.
Okay.
I know a lot of people around me have joint pots. It's very interesting. People around me actually have joint pots where the wife and the husband put their money together in one pot, and the wife even controls the pot.
Wow.
I promise you.
In this same Nigeria.
And so the wife controls the pot where, they want to buy a property. Okay, we're putting money into our pot. And then the goal is joint. Like, so if I have 10 naira, my husband knows I have 10 naira. If I know he has 5 naira, I know he has 5 naira. It's a joint pot. So I realized that whatever works for you is what works for you. You have to decide on what matters. And again, you share so much. I don't know why you share money. I actually don't get it. But again, that's my personal view. But you need to find what works for you. So, I remember one of my clients I met many years ago, one of my clients, and he said, he owns a company. The company is very successful today. He said, there is no account I own that my wife does not sign.
Wow. A
Yes.
Nigerian man.
He said there is no
Wow.
account I own that my wife does. She signs it, but she knows every. If I'm not around, she can sign it. Tell you one story. He shared one story with me where there was a time when you know the wife got upfront in their office. He gave a bulk sum of money in bank in there. And so the woman just went and said to and the husband said, I need some for one job I've gotten. And the woman collected, then we're talking about maybe 20, 30 years, 20 years ago, it was about 2 million naira or 3 million naira, which was a lot of money.
That's a lot. That's probably like 20 million now.
So she packed that money and gave it to the guy. And one woman called and said, my dear, I noticed that you gave your money. You say all this, man, you have to be careful. The man just said, yes. I said, you have to be careful. Just to let you know that she gave the man all the money. Until they're still together today. They built a very wealthy business. They become even more wealthy than they were initially. Which goes to what the Bible says. With one can chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. And that's it. But they had a singular purpose and vision. That's for everybody's story.
So I think that's the key thing that you said. A singular purpose and vision. Not the one that you put your voice together. Somebody is going to Zaza.
Exactly. And even if you go to Zaza, you can go to Zaza together. Today we are Zaza, say, sometimes it can even be. So sometimes you see, again, the honesty.
True.
Babe, me, I like to go to the spa. Okay, I like to go to the spa. Okay, so in our budget now, your spa is there, go.
Me too, my Zaza.
I like to go to Zaza. You want to Zaza? How much is Zaza? Oh, yeah, now is there. So when there's honesty and clarity around what we're spending money on, there shouldn't be any problem. The problem usually arises when there's deceit.
Okay.
You like Zaza, you say I don't mind, but you like Zaza. How about
you go to your Zaza? No, I don't like Zaza.
As a matter of fact, if you plan your Zaza into your expenses, it may be easier for all of you.
Okay.
Or it may be that the wife likes hair. And you like it, babe, we cannot do more than we have to buy that car. It's true. Sometimes those conversations, when you have them together, it changes a lot of things.
Okay.
So again, there's honesty, communication, clarity of purpose, singular vision, knowing that we're in it together. There is no me and him or she and he. There's we, there's they together, one purpose. So people around me, I don't know, maybe I'm just blessed, but singular purpose and vision. And then the people around me also who everybody does their own thing. Okay. But they have a common pot for certain things. Okay. Maybe property, common pot. Maybe travel, separate pots. Whatever works for you. So because some people don't have credibility. So the question, why would you marry a spouse that doesn't have credibility? I don't know. But that's on you. You married the spouse. Yeah. But again, but there are no rules. Just do what works. What works for you.
Yeah, I like that. No rules. And then having a singular purpose and vision, right? So I'd love to know, are there any, is there a way that you notice that maybe men manage their money and invest, and maybe women manage their money this way and invest this way? Have you noticed anything that you can highlight? Okay.
So I think first, women don't talk about money enough. Okay. We don't talk about money. With our friends, with each other, let me not say women. Some women don't talk about money a lot. And I think the reason why is also that money brings about a lot of shame. There's a lot of shame attached to money. Okay. Either you're a man or woman, there's a lot of shame because I don't want to think that I'm making too much. Oh, I'm making too much. If I will now know I'm not even making much, you'll not be looking at me
and I'll be carrying my
hair.
Birkin bag or my
you not realize that. Or maybe if I talk about money, my friends not realize that I don't even have land. How can I? There's a lot of shame that's attached to money. Yeah. And even with men, so many men are struggling. Okay. But rather than speak up and say, listen, babe, I can't even afford this thing. This is my salary, this is what I'm earning. They'll doing harebrained schemes, getting into trouble, and then trouble will now wipe out the entire family income. True. Oh, wow. So yeah, it happens. So again, there's a lot of shame attached to money. Okay. We've tied money to ego. We've tied money to self-worth. We've tied money to self-esteem. But money is a tool. It can do certain things, but your self-esteem, your self-worth should not be tied to how much you make. Okay. So there needs to be that pattern. So the differences I've seen is that women don't talk enough within themselves on how best, to talk about. They don't talk about salary. Some people don't ask. Many women take jobs and they even talk about salary. You must, because you
investigate, my dear. That's how you be the lowest earning person in your team.
Easily. But the man will call and be like, how much are you collecting? How much did I ask for? And the guy was like, okay. So you must have the right conversations. Yeah. So I find out that women need to be more open. Look, I want to buy land. How do I buy land? Okay. Speak up. I want to grow my income. I want to grow my wealth. What are you doing? If you see your friend making money, babe, how are you saving your money? What are you investing in? Are you doing X, Y, Z, A, B, C? Okay. with some of my friends, I know pretty much, I have an idea of how their financial situation is. And some I don't have, which is okay, you know. But ultimately, you must talk to one another. I find that women need to have hard conversation. Babe, we're going to be millionaires in 5 years, and what are we doing?
Do you get?
Let's have the conversation. How we be millionaires? She invests in this and that. Who do you know? Who do I know? Let's pull heads together. But men will do, let's run one or two. But we don't.
You're so right. Let's run one or two.
Men are always running one or two. Women will be there, will not be running anything. Meanwhile, if women come together and say, both of us are coming together, you like to bake. Me, I'm a good marketer.
Let's go run one or two that way.
Let's do Christmas, or let's bake cake for Christmas. Make our money. We're only Christmas people baking people. Or let's do there's just so many ways. It may not even be that kind of business of, you're physically exerting yourself. It could be a business of, let's invest and buy this property and let's turn it into Airbnb. Many men are doing Airbnb with their friends.
Yeah.
They'll buy one, they'll buy two, Before you know what happens, they have a chain of Airbnbs.
Yeah.
How many women do that? You need to do better.
Yeah. So do you think it's just the shame? Do you think it's I'm thinking maybe trust, lack of trust, maybe the way society has, I don't know, do we always feel like we're competing with the next woman or something?
I don't think so. I think any narrative is as true as you make it to be.
Okay.
If you tell yourself that there are no good women out there, you will not meet any good women.
It's so true.
Yeah. If you tell yourself, I can't trust women, you will not trust any woman. The fact is, you need to look at it from, I want this thing.
Okay.
And you need to find someone whose values align with your values.
Okay.
One thing about me, I do a lot of collaborations. Like Genea is run with, I run it with someone else, right?
Okay.
With partners. And one thing is that I have a partner where your focus is not on money. Your focus is on building a sustainable and lasting business. Once you have that singular purpose, money will come. You understand where I'm coming from? If you say, let me and my friend run Airbnb, and we say, look, when we run this Airbnb, when you enter our Airbnb, it will smell beautiful. When you enter that Airbnb, you have your tea and coffee waiting for you. We'll write a note for you. Thank you for choosing Iwa and Biola's Airbnb. We have tea for you. We send you cupcakes. Like, just make it an experience. There's a touch that women have that men can never have.
Yeah, that's
a man will give you an Airbnb, you enter the Airbnb, no offense to some men, sorry. It's smelling funny. Maybe they didn't clean it well. Maybe there's smoke in the room. The woman will never let you smoke in her Airbnb. She keep it neat for you. Yeah. The toilets are clean. So
you might even see like pink tissue. Like, my dear, you have a nice experience.
So there's a touch that women have that men don't have. Yeah. We must let that lead. So we must do more business together, because the skills that we have, if we solidify it, let me tell you, they haven't seen. They will take over. So we don't understand the power we have.
Yeah.
If you understand the power we have, it's all over. And you can do business with a man as well. You can be husband and wife doing a business together. Nothing stops that from happening. But there's a touch that you bring, there's a touch that he brings, and together you conquer. But you can do it by yourself if you want. You can share ideas and bounce skill. Oh, my friend, I'm doing podcasts. You're good at marketing. Teach me how to market. Exchange. Okay, I'll teach you how to market, but I need to be on your podcast. What can I?
Exchange of value.
Exchange of values. So not every time money, sometimes exchange value. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so now that we know more about who your clients are and kind of things they do, we want to know what are their success stories. Who has bought an island off the coast of Mexico?
So there was a lady I spoke to many years ago. Okay. And so I think I was talking with women as well. I was like, women must buy homes, whatever. Anyway, I see her recently and she said, well, like, you know what? I said, what? She said, remember the one time you spoke to us? I said, I can't remember. She said, well, I just want to let you know, I bought a house. And she was so excited. Wow. I bought a house because of you. Because your words kept on ringing in my head. You must build. A woman must have. A woman must build. And I bought a house. For me, that was all the joy.
Yeah.
That was all the joy I needed. And so to see that some of the things that I share and advice I give, people actualize them and build upon them, I'm happy. The same thing I told you about the person that bought the expanse of land. For me, those things are the things that give me joy. That you're living your life based on something I shared with you and it's coming to pass.
Wow. I can't imagine how amazing that must be.
I think I almost cried. I'm like, oh my God, I believe this is it's amazing. But yes. I
love that. Okay. So I guess we'll now go to the rugged part.
Which is the rugged part? Oh, talking about
the state of the economy.
I think the state of the economy is quite challenging for everyone, businesses, individuals. I think that sadly, we're in a place where people are going through a lot, and I empathize with everyone. It's tough,
Yeah.
particularly when you feel like you're swimming against the tide. What can we do to make it better? I think one way to make it better is, first of all, be clear on the things. I've said a lot of it already, but just to reiterate, the things that you need and the things that you want, be clear on it.
Okay.
Avoid waste. Avoid waste. Avoid doing things that you do just because. Don't do anything just because, again. You don't have that luxury. Focus on the things that are important to you. Secondly, find ways to enjoy yourself without and reduce some of the costs that come with that.
Okay.
So, for example, I was talking to some of my friends who they normally travel for holiday. Someone, if you don't travel abroad, travel around Nigeria. Oh, well, it's not safe. Okay, go to Ibadan. Yeah, there are many things that it creates an atmosphere of fun for yourself, right? I think that it's important that you don't lose a sense of those things. And I think also creativity. There's a lot of, for example, now Nigerian clothing is so popular. It's rare that most women don't have at least half of their wardrobe by Nigerian
Honestly,
brands.
and this wasn't the case like 7-8 years
It
ago.
wasn't. It wasn't. So lots of Nigerian brands are popular. So you may wear more Nigerian, less foreign brands. It's happening. So we need to sort of champion those sort of things. It will look different, but it's the season, it will pass. Nothing dark lasts forever. And, nothing, so there's always going to be some light at the end of the tunnel. Will things get better? They will ultimately get better, but it will take time before it gets better.
Okay.
I know the government has done a couple of things. Of course, they could always do more. The government can always do more. We would always want more. Better fiscal discipline. Spending. Trim the fat. Stop wasting money on things that we shouldn't waste money on. Create policies that will drive employment, that will drive growth. Inspire confidence in the people and in people doing business. Create ways of alleviating some of their stress. Of course, that's some of the things that need to happen. And once it happens, we'll start seeing some of the effects, some of these challenging things. We see it sort of subside a bit. But again, as individuals, which is what I can address, I can't address the government because, but if you're an individual in this economy, these are some of the things I would advise you to do. And of course, grow your income. People say, oh, reduce your cost. How do you want to reduce? How much cost do you want to reduce? How much? You will go around. You will eat money. You will cook food. You will not put water in your car. You will put fuel. So the goal is that we all need to get more creative about earning income. Please be honest. Don't steal. But there are many ways that we need to be creative. There are people in Nigeria that have property that they're just lying fallow.
So true.
Rent out the land. They should do car wash to collect the income. You have one house that you've been keeping for years. Your father left it for you. Rent it out. Why are you keeping it? We are a wasteful country. So now let's start thinking of how to reduce waste and increase income. And I think once we do that, it will ease some of the burdens that we have.
So the question I think that's on everyone's mind, and I've been seeing this a lot on my Twitter, is should we eat the rich? Because at this point, what will we eat?
I think that, it's very easy to see someone as a problem because of where you are. The rich people are not your problem. They are also going through the same challenges you're going through. You are rich. People think you and I are rich, but we're not the problem. We're also going through our own challenges. Let's assume that before, I used to be able to buy imported Kellogg's, and I like imported Kellogg's. Now I've gotten to dry Kellogg's. So even me, I'm not happy. Do you understand? Maybe I like imported Kellogg's, or let me even not say imported Kellogg's. Maybe I used to be able to use 3 Maggi to cook. Now I'm even using 1 Maggi because I can't afford 3 Maggi. I'm also not happy. Or maybe I was drinking peak milk every day. Now I say, I always drink peak milk twice a week. Again, everybody is having to adjust.
For me, I used to be able to buy MAC makeup. Now,
even the local brand makeup that
are
we're
even
buying
expensive too.
they're also feeling the
Skincare,
pinch.
everything.
Exactly. So the question is, okay, before I was using Ori, even Ori person is expensive.
Ori person is telling you $1.
Even Dudu also is telling you $1. So
telling you.
the question is, will I now not bath again? Maybe I was bathing twice a day with Dudu. Now I'm bathing once a day with Dudu. And at night,
other one
I'm not
now.
using ordinary water to rinse my body because I can't afford Dudu twice in a day. The fact is, everybody is making adjustments. So we can't eat the rich. We must fear that we're all in it together. There is no we and them. All of us are in it together. We need everyone to be diligent. Let me give you a simple example. You go to the market, you ask for gari. The gari is 1 Congo or whatever. Then you padded the Congo. we were part of the problem.
Yes.
So the Congo you have given me now, you cheated me. You said you sold me 1 kilo of turkey. I get to my measure, the kilo of turkey is half kilo. Madam, you have not helped me now. Me and you are suffering, you now cheated me. How has that helped any of us? So sometimes we think, oh, the kidney, but you are cheating me.
Yes.
So you are also part of the problem.
Yeah.
I'm suffering to get my money. I come to you, you give me half kilo of turkey. Let's do right. If we do right, then, everybody will be happy. Yeah.
Okay, final question. Maybe general advice on personal finance. I know you've given us a lot of tips, and I think the main one has been start finding a way to earn more, be more creative around that. So say maybe I've started earning more. What am I to be doing? What should I be doing? What should my expenses
Okay.
and the way I manage money look like?
Okay, very good. So you now earn more money. I'm very proud of you. You're doing well. Now the first thing is, don't just save, invest. A lot of people in Nigeria say, I've saved a lot. And so what? For every time you save 1 naira, the inflation rate has gone up on that naira and your value of your naira is dropping. So you don't just save and invest. How do you invest? Number one, information. Go and gather information. Know about different asset classes, money market instruments, mutual funds, stock market, local and international, treasury bills, bonds, corporate bonds, local denominated bonds, euro bonds, which are bonds that are denominated in dollars.
Okay.
Go and learn about different asset classes. Once you learn about it, invest in what you understand. That's always what people say, oh, should I go and buy? Do you understand it? Did you explain it well to you? If the answer is yes, okay, invest. Now, once you start investing, the number 4 thing you must do is have a diversified portfolio. What does that mean? Don't go and put 80% of your money in the stock market. That is foolish. Because a diversified portfolio means that if one asset class is up and another one is down, you are okay.
Yeah.
But if you put all your money in stock market and stock market goes down, then I say they advised me wrongly. No, my dear, you are the one. So have a portfolio that is diversified. I'll give you a rough example. So if you're a young person under 30, right, you don't need a lot of cash because you're not spending so much cash. If let me say young and unmarried under 30, I would advise you 30% equity, 30% cash. Try and do like maybe 10% real estate and maybe another 30% real estate, maybe 10% into different things, like maybe your friend wants to do one fintech, can put some money there, or maybe somebody wants to, you want to start buying art as an investment. Like buy some art if you like art. So find different things. That's one. I've given you one. So 30% equity, 30% cash, 20% real estate, and 10% in any other thing that you want.
Okay.
Now that cash can be anything. It can be mutual fund, it can be treasury bills, it can be whatever. The one I mentioned that you do equity can be local, it can be international. It's up to you. You can even break that down further. You can do euro bonds, you can do corporate bonds, you can do many other things. Now, if you're close to 40 or slightly above 40, I would say you may need to start increasing your cash because you're getting older. So the things you want to do with money are probably becoming a bit more. So if you're at that age, probably say 40% cash, maybe about 30, maybe about 20% equity. Of course, if you earn more, then maybe you want to do a bit more property as well, maybe about 30% property. Then you maybe do more 10% alternative asset class, right? So maybe then you're now collecting wristwatches. You're collecting, because again, all those things are part of your wealth, right? Because some wristwatches, if you buy them, you can buy a wristwatch for $5,000. In 10 years' time, that wristwatch can be worth $50,000. You can buy a painting, it's worth X amount.
Or maybe a case of one rare wine or something.
Exactly. If I have people that I know that collect wristwatches.
Okay.
I know people that collect cars. I know people that collect jewelry. Now, if you're a jewelry buyer, you like jewelry, gold is worth a lot. Now, if you sell not diamond, if you sell your real gold, like chain and necklaces, you can get a lot of money. Even designer bags. If you're a designer bag buying person, buy designer bags that can give you value in the long term. Yes, don't buy the ones that tomorrow
nobody even recognizes it as.
So there are many ways to. So I've given you like two structures that you can use. Of course, it will change based on your lifestyle and based on what you need money for. But that's pretty much how I would approach it. Have a diversified portfolio, and then of course, finally monitor your portfolio. Not every month, as you have hypertension. you will kill yourself. Check your portfolio at least every quarter, or every half year. Just how is this thing doing? And then change your portfolio. I would suggest once every year. Don't go and say, that stock went and let me change. No, For any stock to do well, it takes about a year to 18 months.
Okay.
So when you're buying stocks, buy on conviction. As I said, information, right? I can't go through everything in detail, but I've given you enough to know how to build a balanced portfolio. So monitor your portfolio, and then maybe once in a year, adjust one or two levers. But don't touch it every day. My stock is up or down.
Let me sign on and check this thing. It has gone down 10%.
You will have hypertension. And then once you do that, your mind is clouded. And of course, talk to experts, right? If you're someone that is earning considerably a lot of income, talk to experts. I'm here. You can reach out to me through.
No, that was going to be my next question. How can people reach
You can find me out on Instagram at Abiola Adekoya, or you can find me on my LinkedIn. Send me a message, and if you fit into my profile, we can work something out. But again, ultimately, talk to experts. So if you don't talk to me, there are other people that you can talk to. But the more you ask questions, the more you talk to people, the better the plan you can create for yourself.
Yeah.
The more you can create for yourself.
So you've heard from the experts. I know we can probably go on and on and on. Then we have more audience questions. I feel like maybe we can do, I don't know, a live or something one day where we go through those questions.
Yeah.
But for now, thank you so much for watching till the end. Again, you can find her. We'll put all her social media on the screen. So thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Bye.